Last time on House Renovations.
Alright guys, after a long day, we are wrapping up part 7 here. And unfortunately, we are wrapping up the house renovation series because we have the first coat of paint on. And I'm not going to bore you guys with the other 2 coats. So thank you for watching. And I hope you guys enjoyed this nice little mini series called House Renovations. Later. You know, we got plenty of material left. Want to do the other 2 sides?
Let's wait and see.
We'll see.
That's right, guys, we're back. Welcome to Chapter 2 of House Renovations, Episode 1. And as always, here's Jasper.
Chapter 2, Part 1. Good morning, guys, and welcome to Chapter 2 of House Renovations. As you guys last saw, we finished up this wall, all painted and all pretty. And, well, we found out that, let me take you guys inside the room real quick. We found out that when we rebuilt this wall, we actually broke the header board, and now you guys can see that that giant gap means we got to get in there and fix the other walls. So today's project, we're starting from the outside and then working in. Today's project is getting all the shingles and the lattice off of this wall and possibly getting the look on the inside.
First up on the dance card, getting that lattice, that screening, and all that ugly crap off that window.
So we got the gutter down, and we also got the screen and the plastic and lattice off the window. Time to start ripping into those bad boys pretty soon enough.
And ripped into them I did.
Alright guys, as you see, the old man is taking off the rest of the siding. We got the siding off, that's what it looks like underneath. And this, down here, is that tongue and groove we were talking about. Our running theory is that the concrete slab was already here in the back, and they put in the windows and the door in the 70s when this is considered the add-on to the house.
Next, we had to get that plywood off so we can see what we're working with underneath.
Alright, so we're starting getting underneath, and we gotta avoid popping that window out, because you see all that stuff there? Yeah. But, yeah, so it looks like that this add-on was repaired in the 70s, or they probably threw in the window there, and the door, and the window on the other side. Because that's all the original foundation right there. We're talking original tongue and groove, original joist for the framing, so we got our work cut out for us.
And now you can see what the wall looks like without the plywood and the old insulation right here. So the damage to the framing was a little bit more extensive than we thought. Check it out.
Oh, you can see that it's all rotted out up there. We have to replace that before we do anything else. All the way down. It's bad.
And that leads us into our educational segment with the old man.
The reason why, after they repaired this in the 70s sometime, probably about almost 40 years ago, it's held up on the new part. They didn't do the whole thing. They did what I would call a half-ass job. Me personally, if I would have done this back then, I would have replaced everything, and it would have lasted for probably another 50 years. But down here, you can see this is all the original framing. Because if you look inside here where it's all been rotted out from them cutting it off and putting the new stuff in instead of changing all of it out, you can see that there's the original square-headed bolt, anchor bolt, holding it to the foundation. They do not produce this type of anchor anymore. That's what holds the house to the ground, to the concrete. That's why we have a header problem, because that corner's all rotted out, and they only didn't carry the whole sill plate and everything across, or the windowsill 2x4 all the way across. So that causes it to sink in the middle. When we jacked up, put the pressure on, the rest of it disintegrated. So when we're done, we're going to replace all that. Hopefully it'll be back to being stronger than ever and last for another 60 or 70 years.
In order for us to remove the sill plate and remove the header, we had to take the weight off of those boards. So we jacked up the roof a little bit. Enjoy the cutting montage. After we got done cutting the wood and jacking up the roof, as you can see here, guess who decided to show up late? As per usual. Foreman has been here for an hour, and he's yelled at both my dad and myself to get to work. Always coming late to the job. We started at 9:30 this morning. Alright guys, due to lack of foresight, we didn't charge enough batteries to be able to get accomplished what we wanted to today. But we did, however, get the header cut out and ready to have the new one put in this weekend. All the way down. And we did manage to start measuring and cutting some new studs, and we're going to be working on that sill plate come this weekend. So thank you guys for watching. This is the end of Chapter 2, Episode 1, and I will see you guys in the next one. Oh, and here's how our foreman ended the day. And of course, our foreman gets all the special treats and special privileges slacking on the job. Hey guys, and welcome back to the next episode of House Renovations, Chapter 2. And as always, here's Jasper. Episode 2. Morning guys, and welcome to Chapter 2, Episode 2. Now, today's goal is to get the header board replaced, the sill plate replaced, and to make sure we get the extra framing up. It's supposed to rain at 5 o'clock today, which is normally when we punch out, but who knows what extra things we'll get done today. You know how last week's episode we had to cut it early because we didn't have enough hindsight to charge enough batteries? I came prepared this time. We had to end early last week because hindsight's 2020 and it's a very fickle mistress, and we didn't have enough batteries charged. So I'm making sure we got enough batteries. We got some there, and we got some sitting in the chair on the charger over there. I'll be damned if we have to stop early and, have the rain beat us this time. First things first, the old man had to remove what was left of the header. And while the old man was removing the rest of the header, I had a nice little hot side project. Oh, we have a lot of excess wood that we're not going to need, so guess what we have to do with it? Dash right. And plus it's a little chilly outside, so we can use the warmth at our backs. The old man finally got the header out, and here's the final result. Alright, because our batteries were fully charged this time, and after an hour of fighting, we do have that header out, and my god, does it look really bad. We formulated a game plan as to how to replace that header, and that leads us to our educational segment with the old man.
All right, we got to fix this window header and frame it out properly, because when they did it, they made the header incorrect. They didn't make what they call a sandwiched I-beam, which would be taking a 2x4 plywood in between and another 2x4. When you put it, the 2x4 on the upper edge, it causes this to sag. Okay, when you put the plywood in and nailed it all together, it reinforces it like I-beam and keeps it from sagging. This is what it should look like when it's done. You got the new header being put in over top of the window. and then you got the sill plate, and then you got the window sill plate, and then you got the sill plate itself underneath. That'll transfer all that weight from the roof onto all to the ground. So this is the mess that we're straightening out. Right now there's only one in there, and when we get done, it'll be two. When I put it together, I'll show you.
Now on to make that sandwiched I-beam.
All right. So as you guys see this header right here for the window header that we're putting in, that's how it's supposed to go up. Right in there. So it's supposed to go right up in there. That full length of the window. And you see how that plywood is there? That gives it a little bit more structural strength. Be able to shore everything up. Before we get the window header in, we're going to get the actual header in.
My apologies for not getting any pictures of the window header in or the actual header, but we were on a time crunch today. So next up was the studs. I'll tell you what, trying to get these out were a real pain in the arse. We had to cut through lag bolts and nails.
All right, so we got this half pretty much all shored up and secure. Now we got to work on this bad boy.
Again, guys, we were on a time crunch, so I highly apologize for not getting any footage of the new framing being put in. But here's the finished product and the next step.
All right, guys, so as you guys see, we made another joint just like we did up top. Everything is all secured, all the new framing is in. Guess what's next for old Bear to do? That's right, I get to play with the forbidden cotton candy.
I'm gonna be level with you guys. I can't stand putting in insulation, but I'm pretty dang good at it. But this time, the Staple Pew Pew had other ideas in mind. Check out my rage moment.
Come on!
And after a lot of anger, percussion therapy on the Staple Pew Pew, and a little bit of tag teaming between Dad and I, the insulation got put in.
All right, guys, the forbidden cotton candy is up and the rest of it is put away. Up next is plywood sheeting.
Remember how a few parts ago Dad decided to retire his old skill saw? Look at him opening his new toy.
And now we got Dad busting out the new toy. You guys will see that in motion in a moment.
Cue the cutting montage. And with the storm creeping up on us, I didn't get any footage of us screwing the panels on.
Guys, plywood is all up. Tomorrow, hopefully we start getting to the Tyvek wrap and the shingling. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, and welcome back to House Renovations, Chapter 2, Episode 3. And as always, here's Jasper.
Episode 3. Oh, I'm taking video on my phone right now, but you guys are going to notice a shift in camera quality every so often. That's because Dad kind of went a little all out today. Good morning, guys, and welcome to Chapter 2, Episode 3 of House Renovations. Today, we're going to finish putting up the plywood up here above the window, plywood right here to seal in the roof, and then put the Tyvek plastic sheeting along it, and hopefully get the shingling today.
Before we get into all that, let me show you the best way to start your morning.
And this, guys, is how you get a start to your day.
Oh, yeah, and the old man suited up.
That even the old man wears the Brat Bear merch. Merch link in bio, guys.
First on the docket was cutting the plywood so we can put it up on the wall. Tell you what, getting these shots were so easy with the new camera and tripod. Now that we had the piece cut for above the window, all I had to do was screw her in. You're going to notice a lot in this video that the old man has a hoodie on, then a hoodie off. He was getting hot because of the fire. But time to cut the next piece to go up in that soffit. With the pieces cut for the soffit, the old man decided to install them. With a little help from me. Emphasis on little.
Alright, guys, finally, we got the plywood up there and the plywood up there. Next is the Tyvek.
As we were pulling the tie back out, guess who decided to show up really late today?
Here it is, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and our foreman's late. Come on, I'm docking your pay. I'm docking your pay. You coming? Come on. Come on, buddy. Yeah, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, guys. He's late. I'm docking his pay.
As the old man and I were rolling out the Tyvek in order to put it on the wall, the old man and I noticed something was off today.
Man, you didn't bust a knuckle today. You busted a knuckle every day that we've worked on this. How do you feel?
Right now, lucky.
If you don't bust a knuckle when you're doing stuff like this, you ain't doing it right.
Now enjoy the little montage of us slapping up the Tyvek. So if you guys haven't noticed, I'm going through with a hammer and making sure all those staples are down. Up next is the flashing.
All right, guys, flashing is all set up. Next up, putting the molding back on the window.
Considering we're saving the original molding that was in place when we started this project, the old man wanted to put it up. Now that we got the molding put up, let's hear from the old man.
Now for your educational segment from the old man. Take it away, Dad.
I just want to let people know I don't know everything. And even at my age, at 56 almost, I learn new things every day, including from that one there. I don't know it all. Everybody's got to have an open mind to be able to learn new things. And one of the things is I want to teach him what I know so he can pass it on to other generations. Without being able to pass it on and have an open mind, even if you think you know it all, when you've been doing it for years, there's different ways to do things. And the thing is, everybody's got to be able to communicate with each other. This is the best time I've had with my son in years. I'm grateful for it. And I thank him for taking interest in spending time with me.
Hey guys, that's all the time we got for today. So, we didn't get to the shingling like we were planning on, but we did get the Tyvek up, we got the rest of the plywood up, we got the flashing window frame, and the flashing above the window frame. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in episode 4 when we get the shingles up on this side. And possibly start ripping into this wall right here.
Welcome back to House Renovations. And as always, here's Jasper.
Episode 4. Hey guys, and welcome back to Chapter 2, House Renovations, Episode 4. Now, sorry for the long hiatus in between videos. We've been dealing with torrential rain due to Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. Make sure you check on your loved ones in Florida. If you guys notice there's a difference in audio quality, well, Dad decided to splurge a little bit and get us some wireless mics. Now, the main bulk of our projects today are scraping the paint off of this window frame so we can get it ready to paint. And, Dad, if you don't mind grabbing the camera.
Yeah, I know. Get to be the gopher.
It's a nice change of pace for once, I'm telling you. And the big bulk of our work today is stripping off the siding and getting the press board that's underneath because we have more materials coming in tomorrow so that we can redo the wall. And we're going to side both sides and then paint them at the same time. But that's all I got for right now. I'm going to go start the fire.
Spoiler alert, I wasn't able to start it.
Well, I guess today I am indeed not the Lord of the Flame. What was that you just said, old man?
When you can't get it going, it's time to, when in doubt, call the old man out.
He is indeed Lord of the Flame.
And to everyone's surprise, our foreman was on time.
Gotta make sure to let our foreman in for the day. Come on in, sir.
And now the old man got started on that window frame. I'll tell you what, watching the old man work, when he gets into that zone, it's absolutely mesmerizing. I could sit there and watch him for hours. Now, the reason why the old man's working on the window by himself is because if I did it, I'd definitely break something, and we don't have the funds to replace that window. So, what the old man is doing is taking a wire wheel attached to the drill and rubbing off the old paint. You don't want to paint over that because it's just going to crack and peel and just look horrible.
All right, so while the old man is pulling off, the remainder of the old caulk that was on the windows, it's already all sanded down and prepped for painting. Next step is getting over to that wall over there and starting to rip those shingles off. All right, guys, now it's my turn to have some fun. I get to rip these bad boys off the wall. Before I get into it, I'm going to pop me a sensu bean.
So here, I had to save certain panels for Dad just so that we can reuse them to patch, holes in the siding along the other sides of the house. But once he told me, all right, I don't need any more, I just let loose and let her rip. I had so much fun getting that siding and that panel board off. And it's right about here where the old man said, I don't need any more. And I just went nuts. I know you guys keep hearing me say press board, press board, press board. Well, let me show you what it is.
Guys, pardon my slovenly appearance, but it's been getting hot because we got, the fire over there. And, it's getting warm today. But you guys hear me talk about press board all the time that's underneath this siding. This is what I'm talking about. This is fiber press board. This is what they use as a spacer in order to attach the siding. So if you look, it's stacked up like how we did those layers on the other side. More you know. And now for your educational segment from the old man. Take it away.
Today's lesson is, we all have physical limitations. All right, everybody wants to work with this. Okay, they think it lasts forever. It wears out. Okay, and then people want to use their mouth. They think that's the strongest muscle, but actually the strongest muscle is your brain. I always tell people, think the situation out, figure out situations that might come up, plan for the best, and be ready for the worst to happen. Always work smarter, not harder. Okay, and like I told these guys when they were younger, it's not this that lasts longer, it's this that lasts longer. And this, they can never take away your brain from you. If you let somebody do it, it's your own fault. So always think out your situations before you get into them. If you don't know the way to do it, find somebody who might be able to give you a hand. I got them.
Or as he calls, cheap labor. All right, guys, all the press board is off and the shingling. Up next, the old man will be caulking this bad boy right here. Stay tuned.
While the old man was caulking the window, he threw a term at me that I was unfamiliar with called sweat equity. So I threw on the camera and asked him a few questions.
All right, so Dad just brought up a very interesting thing to me called sweat equity. What is that exactly?
Sweat equity is what we're doing right now. What we're doing is people pay for people to do these things, and how do I put it? yes, they're improving their house, but they ain't putting their own time into it and saving money when it's little things, you can do. What sweat equity is you're putting in the time, but in the long run, what you're doing is improving the house for the value of the house in the long run. So when you do little things like this, like painting your house or cleaning the yard up, or doing landscaping, changing carpet or whatever it is, when you're improving the house, it puts value into the house. And your labor is free doing it because you own it.
Right.
So what we call it is sweat equity. I'm putting future money into my house doing my own work, or somebody's house as in your own.
Yeah.
And in the long run, it'll pay off if you sell it. The value of the house goes up because it's been renovated, it's been brought up to code, or it looks good, the yard ain't a mess and that. And the biggest reason I do this is not just because I own it, because of the person I love and my family. I want to make this a future for them, so they have something in the future worth value. If some hard time comes along, they can do something with it and not just be ripped down because it's old and not taken care of.
And you see, basically what the old man's trying to say, guys, is that, he's trying to build a future for his family. And I think that's all we ever should strive to do, you know what I mean?
Family's number one.
So you know how last video I said that Dad didn't bust a knuckle? Well, karma kind of bit me in the arse on that one.
Pardon the air compressor in the background, but the old man cursed me. Well, more so I cursed myself in the last video. Let's see here. 1 busted knuckle, 2 busted knuckle, 3 busted knuckle, and now's number 4 right here.
Here comes the first aid.
Alright, guys, and that wraps up Chapter 2, Episode 4. Today, we got the caulking done, as you see Dad finishing up and doing the, pretty touches on it. And we got all that panel board and that siding ripped off that sidewall. Tomorrow, we're getting the new material. I'll showcase that off when we get it. And we're going to be ripping into that wall, re-insulating, repaneling it, getting the Tyvek up, and hopefully siding tomorrow. So, see you and stay tuned. Later.
Don't try this at home. We're not professionals.
Not by any means, but maybe you can learn from our mistakes.
Welcome back to House Renovations. And as always, here's Jasper.
Episode 5.
So, before we get into the intro of the episode, I gotta show you guys something.
Look at that. Our foreman's actually early today. He's getting ready and yelling at us to get to work before we even start. We just got the fire going. I think he approves of the new material. What do you think, Dad?
Hey, did we do okay? Huh? Did we do okay? Yeah? All right. Thank you, boss.
Hey guys, and welcome back to House Renovations, Chapter 2, Episode 5. Today's goal is to get the rest of that sheeting off of that side of the wall that you guys saw me taking the press board and the siding off yesterday. And Dad's job today is he's going to finish re-beautifying the window, making sure it's fully caulked, all of that. Now, when we get that sheeting off the side, we are absolutely going to have to inspect and see if we're going to need to reframe. We're definitely going to resheet it, and we're definitely going to re-insulate it. But as you guys see, we got the fire going. Let me quit jabbing at you, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Before we get into the meat and potatoes of things, I promised you guys I'd showcase off the new material we got. Take a look.
All right, so the material we needed were 10-foot 2x4s and 8 plywood sheets.
While the old man was beautifying the window, here's what I got up to. Well, I was taking so long, the old man got done with his caulking and beautifying the window, so he decided to come and give me a hand.
Right, don't mind Dad, ripping panels off and everything. I'm taking a break because I've been at it for an hour and I got a few things off. But so what we notice here is that there's new board here, and down here is tongue and groove. If I take you guys out a little bit, it looks like at some point there was a window put in. You know, there's newer wood and there's still that tongue and groove. So Dad and I are baffled and we're trying to figure it out. I mean, if you look right here, the part that he pulled off, there's framing for a window,
Supposedly.
supposedly.
We'll know in a little while.
We'll find out when we get everything off. See you then.
Tell you what, getting all that off was an absolute nightmare. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be feeling this one in the morning for sure.
It's barely even 1 o'clock and I'm tired already, but that is what the inside of our wall looks like. We'll see what's going on next.
So, while we're taking a much needed break, let me show you how the window looks now.
Okay, so Dad's giving me a hand with the other wall. I'm taking a cigarette break because I've been at it for about an hour ripping those panels off. But this is all the caulking. Now we gotta wait for that to dry so we can sand it, make it even. So when we paint it, it's gonna look great. But all the caulking is done. I know it looks like a mess right now, but trust me, in the end, the results are absolutely worth it. All right, guys, up next, I get to play with the forbidden cotton candy, and I won't have to fight with it this time.
I made mistake number one when handling insulation. I forgot my gloves. So, again, as I've said before, I don't like doing insulation, but I'm pretty good at it. But you don't normally come across panels these wide when it comes to framing and throwing up insulation. So I had to ask the old man, hey, what do I do here? If you don't know something, guys, don't hesitate to ask. I really should have worn gloves, but I was already too far into it. I couldn't stop. Once I got into my groove, I just kept going until I was done.
All right, guys, forbidden cotton candy is up. Up next, plywood sheeting. All right, guys, it's going on 5:30, and this is where we're gonna call it. But we got literally 95% of the paneling done. Now, part of the reason why I didn't get, the paneling recorded is because Home Depot screwed up our order. All right, this is a 1/4 inch. This is the normal thickness of plywood. This stuff that they sent us, though, on the other hand, let me go to our new cutting table setup. This stuff right here is what is known as roofing plywood. This is a 3/4 inch thick. One sheet is about 100 pounds by itself. So yeah, neither Dad nor I had the mental capacity after moving one of these things to think to hit record. So our apologies, guys.
Oh, and don't think I forgot about our educational segment.
Okay, as I've been told, I have to do an educational section of this. Today is the educational is. Remember when I said plan for the worst and expect to hope for the best? Well, today we got a little bit of both. We planned for the worst and didn't have to do all the worst stuff that I thought it was going to be. It was like change out studs and the sill plate and all that. We got lucky on that. The worst part we got is we got delivered the wrong size plywood. We got, instead of the 1/4 inch plywood that we use, we got 3/4 inch decking board, which is for roofs. But the benefit of it is it's going to make the wall stronger, and we don't have to fight with filling in gaps or anything. So I guess We hoped for the best, and got a little bit of the worst, and got the best out of it.
Hey guys, and that's all the time we have for today with Chapter 2, Episode 5. Thank you all for watching. Now, today, as you saw, we got 95% of the paneling done. But tomorrow we're going to finish up that other 5%, and then we're going to throw Tyvek on that side of the wall, and then after that we're going to start siding. Maybe Sunday or Monday we'll actually get into the painting, but who knows? Stay tuned.
Don't try this at home. We're not professionals.
Not by any means, but hopefully you can learn from our mistakes.
Hey guys, and welcome back to House Renovations. And as always, here's Jasper.
Episode 6. You guys aren't going to believe this. We're just getting set up and everything. Dad's getting ready to start the fire and all that, but guess who showed up early again? 2 days in a row. What sorcery is this? Good morning, guys, and welcome to House Renovations Chapter 2, Episode 6. Now, today, we're going to finish the other 5% of that sheeting on that side. We're going to Tyvek it, and then hopefully we're going to get into the shingling today. We will have to take a break in the middle of bouts, roughly, because we're going to take a field trip and go measure for a sink. Hopefully I can get some footage of that. Who knows? If it's not in the video, sorry about that, guys. But, as you can see, I got the fire started. I'm going to get on, and I'll see you later.
First up on the docket, getting rid of the roofing nails so we could finish the sheeting on that wall. Next, measuring and cutting the plywood sheeting to finish the 5% of the wall. Cue the cutting montage. Tell you what, the new skill saw that Dad got cuts through it like a hot knife through butter. Oh, it is so nice. Messing with that plywood, man, that 3/4 inch is no joke. It is super heavy, and what I forgot to mention yesterday is that it's wet, so add another 10 pounds to the 100. All right, now that they're all cut, time to slap those bad boys up on the wall. Look, those things weren't easy to heft up there. They weren't exactly small pieces, but we managed to pull through.
All right, guys, the rest of the sheeting is up. Up next, the Tyvek.
Now remember, Tyvek works as a barrier to prevent moisture from getting into the wood, bugs, things of that nature. It's not an end all be all, but it definitely helps and it is essential.
Tyvek's up. Up next is the flashing.
Before I show you the finished flashing, I think we need to hear something from the old man.
So, now on to your educational segment from the old man.
With a little time and a little effort, you can take something that looks pretty bad and make it look good, just with a little sweat, some time. I'm not the greatest person with a caulk gun, but it looks a lot better than it did. So don't be afraid to try something new.
All right, guys, all the flashing has been run. Well, we're going to cut it early today because, you know what? I'll just show you. This is why we stopped early. The old man decided to spring on a nice, glorious spread. We get corn on the cob, green beans. He's going to be busting out some chicken, and he's going to be grilling. Because what, Dad?
When you work hard, you get to eat good.
All right, guys, and that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching House Renovations Chapter 2, Episode 6. As you can see, the old man's firing up the grill. We're going to be eating good tonight. Now, we didn't get to the siding today, and we didn't get to do the field trip, unfortunately. Sorry about that. But we are going to take the whole day tomorrow to decide. So, stay tuned.
Don't try this at home. We're not professionals.
Not by any means, but hopefully you can learn from our mistakes.
Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome back to the next episode of House Renovations. And as always, here's Jasper.
Episode 7. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to House Renovations Chapter 2, Episode 7. Today, we're going to get into the shingling, all right? And a little bit more. Possibly get into the caulking, not quite sure yet. But we got our caffeine. Fire's about ready to get started. I will see you guys when we get to the work. Nothing like a nice warm fire on a chilly fall day to get yourself started and ready for the day. Let's get to work. Got the fire started and someone showed up early. Again, day 3. I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe I docked his pay too much?
So, originally, I had meant to record a video of us setting the run lines for the shingles, but I couldn't find the remote for the camera, but comes to find out it was in my pocket. Let me show you the accidental pictures I took. Alright, let's get started with that first run. Well, you're going to see the old man here solo in a moment, but that's because I had a little side project going on while he was doing the first run. Let me show you. Guys, see that rough edge right there? Yeah, that won't do. So we decided to trim up the rough edges so we can have a nice even plane to line up our shingles on our run line. And right there is that nice clean edge. Makes it so much easier.
Alright, guys, first run is down. Next up, more shingling.
I forgot to film run number 2, but here is run number 3. You guys are going to keep seeing me walk on screen and off screen. That's because I had to keep trimming shingles so we could fit it on the run. My apologies for not getting the beginning of the 4th run, but you guys get to see me do the finesse work underneath the window. Now you guys are going to see a lot of me walking off screen. Again, I had to trim pieces so they'd fit.
Alright, guys, and that's all the time we have for today. Unfortunately, we don't have enough daylight to film us getting the rest of the shingling on, but we've got 4 runs going so far, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for part 8 when we start painting. Catch you later.
Don't try this at home. We're not professionals.
Not by any means, but hopefully you can learn from our mistakes.
Hey guys, and welcome back to House Renovations. And as always, here's Jasper.
Code 8. Good morning, guys, and welcome to House Renovations Chapter 2, Part 8. Now, as you see, we did not get the shingling done yesterday, but I'm not even joking you. As soon as I filmed that outro, within 5 minutes, it was pitch black out here. So, we're going to finish the runs of the shingles and hopefully get to caulking today. Painting will probably come this weekend in Part 9, but stay tuned. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to go start the fire. Fire started. Let's get to work.
Alright, picking up where we left off, we started another run. Sorry I had a camera malfunction, so I couldn't catch the start of it, but here's the tail end of it for you guys. So, to set the cadence for this run, we're going from the window to the corner, instead of the corner to the window. So here you see the old man bust out the measuring tape. Now, that's because instead of doing the run like we have been, where we're marking out a long line and then going along that, we've been measuring 10 inches up so we have enough room to staple the new shingles on for the next run. Then we're marking our line after, making sure it's level. Now here you see us cheating a little bit. We're starting the next run from the window to the corner. Considering we know our height and where we have to place the bottom of the next run of shingles, we figured we might as well so we didn't have to double back. So now we finished our next run, and we finished our next run up to the window on both sides. So now we got to get above that window, and that's where Dad does a little finesse work.
Alright, so what exactly are you doing there, old man, with that shingle?
Well, because we had to put a backer board behind the shingles here. They had to make the shingles thinner at the top and bottom, which the bottom of the original shingle is too thick and the top is too thin. So we had to cut out the middle, top and middle to use the middle of it, so we can fill in around the window.
Yeah, what he's talking about, guys, is right up here, so that he can attach them up there. He needs to take a little bit more off, and then he'll be able to just slide it in there and tack it up. Alright, guys, this side is fully shingled. Now, on to the real big project of the day, this side.
Time to lay the next run on the next wall.
Hey guys, and that's all the time we have for today for House Renovations Chapter 2, Episode 8. Now, we didn't get the full runs done on this side, but that's because we're running out of daylight. Not to mention, Dad has to go back to work tomorrow. Vacation's over, so fun time's over. He does work a full-time job. So, this weekend, we're going to cover getting the rest of these runs. We're going to cover the caulking, and hopefully we'll get at least slap the first coat of paint on. But I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Don't try this at home. We're not professionals.
Not by any means, but hopefully you can learn from our mistakes.
Hey guys, and welcome back to House Renovations. Unfortunately, there is no Jasper today. Our dear foreman decided to call out because it was too cold.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to House Renovations Chapter 2, Episode 9. As you see today, we're going to finish up the siding on this wall, and hopefully we're going to get in the caulking. Now, I know I've been talking about caulking since Episode 5 of Chapter 2, but we may not be getting into painting soon because we do have another project lined up. As you can see, I'm all suited up in my merch. This is the Stay Wholesome line. Check out the link in my bio. If you can't find it there and you're on YouTube, it's going to be in the description down below. But, as always, I'm going to go get the fire started. Alright guys, as you can see the fire started, let's get to work.
first things first, the old man had to trim down the corner so we could have nice even runs. Let's level and mark that first run. Let's start slapping up that first run. And on to the next. So as we got towards the corner there, we had to trim out some of the old shingle in order to fit the new shingle behind it. Well, the old man had to go trim a shingle, and we had a mishap happen. Here's why we have the disclaimer at the beginning of every video.
How we have the disclaimer at the beginning of every video that we're not professionals? Let Dad show you why.
That can even happen to you when you got years of using a saw. And they can bite.
And before we slap some more shingles up, here's your educational segment from the old man.
Now for your educational segment from the old man.
Just to let people know, you can do this on a budget. I've spent about $4,000 in materials on everything we're going to be doing so far. With tools and materials. They might not be the most expensive tools or the most popular tools on the face of the planet, but if you clean them, maintain them, and store them properly, they'll work and for you and at a cheap cost. You can do the same things we're doing. I've had to start all over again with tools.
Alright guys, we're on the second to last run of the day, and then we have a nice little special side project we came with on the fly.
Here's a fast forward to our completion of the runs for the day.
Alright guys, the last run of the day is up. This wall is officially finished being sided for now. But also, the other reason that we're not caulking today is because it's late in the afternoon and we need to do 2 walls instead of 1. So it's going to take all day. Plus we have a side project coming up. I'll show you that in a minute.
Here you see me trimming shingles. And here you see the old man trimming up a corner of the wall. Why is that, you may ask? Well, let me show you.
Alright guys, our side little project that you saw me cutting stuff with are these. It looks odd on this side, but these are our end caps, our corner caps, if you will. Just a nice little finishing touch to make everything look so even. I know it looks weird on this side because it's not painted or caulked or anything, but if we move over here, just look at that siding job. That siding job is so beautiful. Anyway, now, it's not painted or anything yet, but if you look, that's how the corner caps are supposed to look. It gives it a nice uniform end. They're all cut the same size. They're all angled at the same width. Whole 9. So it's gonna look good in the end. Believe me, guys.
And here is another view from the old man's camera.
All right, guys, and that's all the time we have for today for House Renovations Chapter 2. episode 9. As you guys see, we got all the siding done today. We also made those corner caps that we just showed you. Now, all the caulking will be done tomorrow. But we may have a surprise for you at the end of the day. Can't quite spoil all the secrets yet. Now remember, you guys can pick up your merch right in my merch store. The link is in my bio if you're watching on TikTok, and if you're watching on YouTube, it will be in the description below. But I'll see you guys tomorrow for part 10.
Don't try this at home. We're not professionals.
Not by any means, but hopefully you can learn from our mistakes.
Hey guys, and welcome back to House Renovations. Now, we don't have our foreman for the second day in a row because he called out again because it was a little too cold.
Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to House Renovations Chapter 2, Episode 10, the final episode in Chapter 2. Now, today's project is caulking both this wall and the wall around. Dad's going to work on one wall, I'm going to work on the other. So, without further ado, and without further delay, let me get started, and I'll see you guys when I get to the work. Alright guys, fire started, let's get to work.
So there isn't much but just caulking today, but I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching. It has been a pleasure to make these videos for you guys. And it's also been a pleasure to work with my dad on this project. We haven't had this much fun, nor have we had a great time like this in years. I appreciate you guys sticking around for this, and believe me, there's definitely more to come. The old man and I both decided that, it was better to divide and conquer today. So that's why you're going to see the camera flipping from him to me, to him to me. And then I got a shot of us both working. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the caulking montage. What's crazy is we got an awful late start today. I mean, normally we start in between 9 and 11 o'clock in the morning. We started at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and we still finished both walls. Now, it may seem like a crazy white sticky mess, but it's really not. It helps put the finishing touches on, so when we put on the paint, everything looks smooth and uniform.
Alright guys, we are all caulked up. Now, we didn't do these top rows, but there's a reason for that, and I'll explain that in the outro of the video, guys. But we are all caulked up and ready to go. Alright guys, and that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching Chapter 2, Episode 10. Now, this is the last episode in Chapter 2 because we are going to be starting the roof for Chapter 3. Now, there won't be any videos for about the next week or two because I am going on vacation for a little bit. Take a little break, charge creative batteries. Old man needs to rest up too. So, I hope to see you guys in the next one. And remember, you can pick up your Brat Bear swag at the link in the description down below if you're on YouTube, and the link in my bio if you're on TikTok. I hope you guys have a wonderful night.